Hi everyone, today I'm going to be responding to a video made by a YouTuber called Hardell on her sexist workplace and their sexist policy.
Sexist dress codes in the workplace are forcing women to dye their hair, wear high heels and keep reapplying makeup.
As Hardell is a subscriber to queer ideology, it hasn't occurred to her to unite with other female co-workers against this sexist policy. What Ash has chosen to do instead is to negotiate an exception just for herself by claiming transgender identity, ultimately leaving a sexist policy intact. She's also very proud of this.
I work in customer service and I have a required uniform. My company provides a few clothing options for its employees, but like many places, they're separated into two categories: men's and women's.
I don't think that's acceptable for a workplace to officially have a policy that says women have to wear this, men have to wear this.
Well, Nicola Thorpe was sent home from work for not wearing heels. She began a petition that was signed by over 150,000 people and led to an inquiry into workplace dress codes.
Yes, this isn't just any report. This is the Petitions Committee and Women and Equalities Committee.
Outfits are very professional garments, and in my opinion, they're pretty gendered. Suits, ties, skirts, pantyhose, that kind of a thing.
Apparently pantyhose mean stockings or tights. I mean, to me it sounds like something a lot kinkier, but apparently that's what it means. So for any British people watching, that's what pantyhose mean.
For 4 years, I was too afraid to rock the boat. Thus, I showed up every day in a dress and heels. A dress and heels.
See, this really shocks me. I can really understand why if you're doing like a self-employed job, you might just let it go. But for 4 years you sat there and worn high heels and a skirt. I can't imagine. I would never do that.
Me in a dress and heels. Y'all wouldn't recognize me.
4 years.
How did I do it?
4 years.
Great question. The answer is compartmentalization and disassociation.
But what about all the other women working with you, Ash?
This is a very significant report triggered by your petition. Absolutely. And they have agreed that it is sexist to require women to wear heels to work.
Because changes in law don't stop bad practices from happening overnight. Dresses and heels are designed to make you feel self-conscious. So you think that no other women felt like that when they were wearing those clothes.
Why did you not want to wear heels to work? Because it ended up with you getting the sack, didn't it?
I did, yes. I lost my job as a receptionist. I didn't want to wear heels first and foremost because they were going to be painful. I would be walking for 9 hours a day, 40 hours a week, escorting clients from the reception to their meeting room. So that, first of all, was a physical thing. But when they insisted that I wore them,
What kind of company was it?
It was an accountancy firm. It was PwC.
I didn't view my uniform pieces as installments of my wardrobe, but rather as parts of a necessary costume.
Bearing in mind, by the way, that this person, she's got 500,000 subscribers, so she could probably give up her job if she wanted to. There's a lot of people probably working at a company who aren't in that position. They're probably sucking it up because of pure need.
And when I wore the uniform, I wasn't Ash. I was Work Ash. Work Ash is an alter ego / coping mechanism who is no nonsense and entirely pragmatic. She doesn't care about regular Ash's feelings or discomfort, and she does whatever she has to get things done. Sounds kinda unhealthy, doesn't it?
So Work Ash is basically like the most polite way I can think to describe it is complicit.
How did I get from there to where I am now? Well, as the years progressed and people at my company got to know me, I dipped my toes in the water of testing.
Where's the support network? She's supposed to be around a bunch of so-called feminists. Queer trans activists is what I'd call them. None of them are saying, "Oi mate, you shouldn't be taking this. This is blatant sex discrimination." Especially heels, like, because they actually injure your back and your feet. They're actually really bad for your health. And she's just sucked it up for 4 years.
Oh, you ordered the new dress? Looks good. You know, I actually think it'd be kind of cool to show up in the suit and tie. It was always a real casual thing, just to colleagues and work pals, no management at this point.
This is an activist. Fuck off.
And almost always people would reply, "Oh, you should. I say folks should wear whatever's comfortable for them." Or, my favorite, "Ash, I think you'd rock it. Girl."
So people were encouraging you to wear what you like, but you seem to think that that's something to be made fun of.
My confidence in the guy's outfit being a viable option for me started to grow. Then I booked my top surgery.
As if getting top surgery somehow justifies her unreasonable desire to wear comfortable clothes.
I figured soon I wouldn't even have the boobs to fit into lady things.
It's ridiculous. Like, why shouldn't she just be able to wear comfortable clothes? Like, why isn't she challenging the fact that she's not allowed to wear comfortable clothes? Why does she have to get top surgery?
It was time to turn my casual confessions of my personal desire into a formal inquiry.
She's describing a very normal desire to want to wear comfortable clothes as if it's like some sort of kink. It's really weird.
So I sent human resources an email disclosing my trans identity and asking if I could wear the clothes that would make me most comfortable. In the message, I told my company that I valued my position with them and that I was grateful to work there.
Yeah, Ash, I think at this stage we've all established that you're an arse kisser. I don't think that's in doubt.
Then I opened up in regards to my trans identity.
But why do you have to disclose a trans identity just to wear comfortable clothes?
And went on to explain that because of who I am, I might be more happy and myself at work if I could make a change in what I was wearing on the job.
Why do you have to pour your heart out to your employer just to express that you want to wear clothes that make you feel comfortable?
I emphasized that I cared about their input and approval.
Arse kisser.
Which is why I was asking, rather than just showing up in a tie, unannounced, being like, hey.
Arse kisser.
I said that I would be totally open to having a dialogue with them about the matter if they wanted.
Employing sex discrimination laws would deal with this problem.
And I closed by offering some times I was available to do so. And the whole time, my heart was beating so hard. See, after this, there was no going back. I was irreversibly outing myself to my superiors.
This is a clear case of sexual discrimination.
They could say no, or I could decide I actually wanted to keep rocking the dress. It didn't matter. This was a permanent admission regardless. And that scared the crud out of me. I don't want to pretend I was totally cool or cavalier throughout the whole ordeal, because I wasn't. Now, if you're straight or cis or just really brave, it might be hard to comprehend why I was so worried.
I get why you were worried. I just don't get why you don't recognise that this is a case of sexism, not transphobia.
It may seem strange that I suppressed the truth about what I wanted for so long. In 2013, a Deloitte study found that 83% of LGBT plus employees admit to changing some aspect of themselves at work in order to, here's the kicker, not appear too gay. This study found that even in companies with diversity policies and inclusion programs,
even companies with inclusion policies and diversity programs, they don't give a shit about addressing sexism.
queer folks struggle to be themselves at work because they believe that conformity is critical to their long-term career advancement.
And what are you doing to help these people? Conforming. That's what you're doing. Do you realise that?
And that's how I felt. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I didn't want to rock the boat. I wanted to blend in and conform to what most of my colleagues were doing.
We get that you didn't want to rock the boat. It's fucking pathetic.
But somehow I had done it. I had mustered the courage to send the email that I had been thinking about sending for years. And do you know what happened? A couple weeks later, I hopped on a call with a hella friendly HR rep who basically said, cool, sounds good. There was a short process involved.
Why was there a process involved? All you wanted to do was wear comfortable clothes.
I had to answer some questions, fill out a form, let my personal manager supervisor guy know what was going on.
So you had to do all that stuff just to be able to wear clothes that made you feel comfortable.
I was incredibly pleased though, because it was ultimately pushback free.
Go you!
And I didn't have to prove anything or make a case for myself.
You had to go and fucking set up top surgery and you had to go through these hoops pretending that you're transgender when the entire world knows that you're not. All because you can't fucking accept that you are oppressed on the basis of being female. That's what's going on here.
Which was something I was originally worried about. While from then to now has been a largely positive affair, it hasn't been 100% without awkwardness or bumps. I'm telling you this because I don't want to do you the disservice of letting you set expectations for perfect if you're gonna try the same thing. I was exposed to some dated language, small faux pas here and there, and a few confusing questions. It happens. If I had to characterize the experience holistically, however, as, say, a percentage, I'd figure it went 95% perfectly.
You still work for a sexist company with a sexist policy. You haven't changed shit. Wake up.
My company's attitude was 100% open and accepting.
They employed a policy which said that women and men have to dress differently, and yet you're still apologising for them.
At one point, my individual manager even called me on the phone just to tell me how proud he was of me.
That's the difference between challenging actual sexism and being a pathetic trans activist. When you're a pathetic trans activist, you get thanked by your employers. When you're actually challenging the status quo, you don't. You get sacked.
Because it ended up with you getting the sack, didn't it?
I did, yes. I lost my job as a receptionist.
I'm still worried about some stuff. I haven't actually shown up in the suit yet.
She hasn't even dared to show up in the suit yet. That's how pathetic she is.
But it's happening soon.
Grow a spine.
Moral of the story, asking for what you want can be scary, but it can also be totally worth it. And sometimes people will surprise you by how open and chill they are.
You are part of the problem.
I know I'm excited for work Ash to retire and for real Ash to finally show up to work.
I'm done. I've had enough now.
Okay, bye.